Hello friends, welcome to Edwiki Learning channel. Please do subscribe to get more updates on the DevOps concepts. This video is part of the full course AWS DevOps Practitioner training. Please do check the description below to get the link for the complete full course. Without further delay, let's get into the video. Thank you.
So I wanted to talk about the infrastructure and application terminologies here, right? So to have this type of the website, here we are using edshopper.com as a website to demonstrate the real time how it works, right? But think of like it could be any other website that you guys are actually using as of today to purchase your most of the products, right? So to have this type of websites are running and accessible by the people, right? So you should be having the infrastructure. Okay, so what does it mean by the infrastructure? Infrastructure is the technical terminology that we use. It refers to the combination of hardware, processor, memory, networking, and the storage, right? So what does it mean? It's just a system, right? Basically. So you are all familiar what is system or computer, right? So the computer or the system means what? A computer will have a processor inside, will have a memory inside, will have a hard drive inside, right? And all of them are in a single terminology. We can call it as a hardware devices. Will have a networking. Take your laptop as an example, right? So your laptop has built or assembled with a lot of hardware devices, including a processor, memory, hard drive, networking. That's where you put the external devices connected to your system, right? And your system is accessible by the other places too, like internet, right? A lot of things. So the assembling of all these different things together is called as a infrastructure from the technical perspective, nothing much. Okay, in your general language you call it as a computer or a system. When it comes to the DevOps world, when it comes to the IT world, we are calling the terminology called infrastructure, right? Right. So when it says infrastructure, right, so can I use this statement at this time, right? The system or a computer, now I'm referring it as an infrastructure. Is it the right understanding? Right? A system or a computer that I would need to run my business, a system or a computer that I would need to run my edshopper.com website because I wanted to make a business out of it, right? So the system or computer that I'm referring here, which is working hard to make this type of websites, right? That I'm calling it as an infrastructure. But it's not like a one system or one computer having a multiple, because to run a website like edshopper.com, I'm like one system is not enough, right? So I may need multiple computers or multiple systems. All these multiple systems should work together to make this edshopper.com website go live, and where the people will come and purchase the products and I make a profit out of it, right? So having this the lot many number of systems and computers now referred as a infrastructure, got me? Right, it's not a single system, basically having multiple systems put together and making them working, right? Then it is infrastructure. So whenever I have a multiple systems or multiple computers are used to make this kind of the website or web apps accessible, where do I keep all of them, right? All these infrastructure components are put together in a single building space in a racks by connecting them through a proper cables, which is called as a data center. So this is the second terminology that I'm introducing. What is data center, right? The data center is the space where you are all putting all of your systems, right, to make them functional, make them running, to run your business or to run your applications. What is application here? Application in the sense your edshopper.com is called as an app, just for understanding purpose. Make sense? Well, so whenever you have the infrastructure with you guys, so can I use this statement at this time? Hey, I have the infrastructure with me. What does it mean by? When I say I have the infrastructure, I have multiple computers with me kept into a single space called as a data center, correct? So having the computers will be enough, guys, to have this kind of the websites running, like at shopper.com website? Not really. Think of like this, right? Let's say you have a laptop with you. You go to the store, you purchase a brand new laptop. I don't know how many of you have actually experienced purchasing a laptop from the store, which does not have an operating system, which we usually call it as a bare metal systems, right? Uh, if you go a little back in days, right, definitely it's possible to have the or purchase a laptop with a bare metal having a single DOS operating system. It means like without an operating system, we can even get a laptop and then later on we can load the things. I don't know how many of you are experienced with that actually. These days, all the laptops are actually bundled with predefined all the OSs, right? Anyway, what does it mean, right? Whenever you have a infrastructure with you, the infrastructure terminology will talk about only the hardware. It will talk about, right? It will talk about only, like, you will get only processor, memory, some hard drive with some networking connectivity things. That is what is called as infrastructure. That is not enough to make use of your system, right? The bare metal terminology refers that is just having the assembled hardware. That's it, right? It is not in a usable state. It's just a bare metal, or the hardware is assembled and your system is ready. But how do you get start using this? I mean to say, let's say if there is a hard drive with you, how do you store the data in the hard drive? Got me? There should be a process, right, to make use of your hard drive and start putting the data in it, right? So because I can't speak to the hardware, right? Can I? Let's say, can I go to a hard drive and tell that, hey, can you please store my movie file? No, because the hardware language is different and we speak a different language. There is a gap between, and we can't go and use the hardware directly. The bare metal is mean that the hardware devices which does not have any operating system in it, just a hardware which is not ready to use kind of. So whenever you have the systems like that, in order to start using them as per your need, now the very first thing that you need to do is installing a operating system. What is operating system? Like, you guys are currently using the Windows operating system on your laptop, right? A simple question at this time, because you are all using the laptops today to connect to this meeting, right? Maybe assume like you are all using the Windows uh, operating system in your laptops. Let's say if you don't have the Windows operating system in your laptop, do you think your laptop is usable? Can you use your laptop? No, right? So whatever the Windows operating system that you currently logged in and using this, right? So this is the operating system. This operating system is used to make a interface between you and your hardware. Operating system is making a nice graphical user interface when it comes to Windows, or maybe a interface, right, which will help you to interact with your hardware devices. Let's say I want to talk with the processor, I want to talk with memory, I want to talk with my storage, which is a volume, which is a disk. How do you talk with all of these? I can speak to those hardware devices using the operating system software, correct? Because operating system is making the flexibility to act as an interface between you and computer. Then whatever you wanted to tell, you tell to operating system software, the software will understand it it will go and talk to the hardware, and finally your things will be done, right? That's how we can understand this. When it comes to the operating system, right, there are different operating system flavors that are available in the market which will be doing the same job for you. There are Red Hat operating system, Ubuntu, CentOS, Amazon Linux. All these are the operating systems which are flavored at Linux. When I say flavored, all these different OSs built by different companies. Like Red Hat operating system is from the Red Hat company. Amazon Linux operating system is from Amazon Linux company. Something like that. Like there are different flavored Linux flavored operating systems are there. Any of these operating system, the base goal is same. It will help us to have interface to talk with my host hardware, right? Correct. So these Linux flavored operating systems having kind of a similarities. If you learn one operating system is good enough to work with any other operating systems because all of them are kind of similar, right? So there is another type of operating system in the market, Windows flavor, which most of you are already familiar about that. And there is one more called Mac OS as well, right? From Apple. Either Mac or Windows or Linux, only the product, the interface kind will be different, but at the end of the day, all are designed for the same purpose to talk to your system to make the things done. Agree with me, right? So out of all these operating systems, right, we are focusing on Linux operating system flavors to run our business and to run our all the DevOps goals while Linux. The tools that we talked about, like maybe just to call out, right, Kubernetes, right, and Jenkins and whatnot. So most of the tools that we are learning in our course are compatible, familiarized to run on the Linux flavored operating system. That's the reason we are picking a Linux here to complete your 3 months of things here. Yeah. So we are not dealing anything in Windows or Mac. We will be 100% on Linux only, which is the most demanded OS skill even in the outside market for an DevOps engineer, at least for our course, whatever we are targeting here, right? Good. In the Linux, whether you learn Red Hat operating system or Ubuntu or CentOS or Amazon Linux, doesn't matter. All of them are kind of same. There will be 5 to 10% differentiation there and there, right? But we will be primarily working on Amazon Linux operating system, which is more easy, convenient, because we are trying to work on the AWS cloud anyway. But that skill is enough to work with other operating system flavors as well, right? And if you ask me which operating system that mostly the people will be using in the real time, it would be Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, and Red Hat. Even the CentOS. I would say all these four are having equal ratio in the real time. The people choice which they wanted to use, right? Good. So are we good with this? So whenever you have a computer with you, and if the computer is having an operating system, is that good enough, guys, to run your use case, to run your business? Think of like this. Don't uh, don't look at the business or real time or all these things at this time, initially at least. I would say, like, at least for next 20 days, do not worry about how the real time will be. Okay, don't think about how it will be in a real time. So to get into the mode of a real time, how it will be in an office, it takes some time because we need to complete all the different basics that we need to go into that level. Okay, that's the reason Initially, at least for 15 to 20 days, I will not be worried about the real-time best practices and the real-time scenarios. Just all about the simple basics that we need to. Then we'll get into the more how these things will be in a real time, guys. Make sense? Now, come to the simple example here, right? Uh, you go and purchase a laptop, and yes, you got one operating system, maybe a Windows one. Is that enough, guys, to start using your laptop to meet your needs? Not really, right? Having a operating system is not enough, right, to start working or to start using your system as per your needs, right? So on top of the operating system, now you would need a application, correct? You can always chime me in, talk to me over the chat window as and when we are making the progress here to make it more real time, right? Sorry, interactive. Well, now what is application? Can you call out some of the application names, guys, in the chat window? Again, don't worry about the DevOps or any other. It's just general, right? I would say how how much you know about your laptop to use it effectively, that is good enough to start learning the DevOps here. That's the reason I'm always comparing with this, right? So whenever you purchase a laptop, maybe for your home use, home purpose, okay, uh, 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 right? And in order to start using, maybe initially you will be you wanted to write some documents, make some Excels, right? The tabular, the data, right? You wanted to play the movies, right? These are the general use cases that you usually do, right, for the home-based laptops, right? So to do anything, right, you need an application. The application or the softwares that you will be installing on top of the operating system, those softwares will help you to make your business use is done. I don't want to rush and make it more fast, at least today, guys. That's the reason I'm going a little slow. That's the reason I requested, because whoever is already know these basics have little patience. There is a reason why I'm driving this small basics as well, because there are some folks who are not even aware of these terms. At least chime in, guys, whoever does not have awareness about these terms, whatever is I'm referring through here. Maybe you can put me in the chat window. That helps, or you know give the boost here. Well, so like when I say application, right, any software that we are using here to make your specific use case done, that is called as application. When it comes to the DevOps world, like Apache HTTP, Apache Tomcat, maybe a Jenkins, maybe a Python, maybe a Java, Docker, Kubernetes, whatnot. So almost all the tools that we are talking about will be a kind of applications, right, which we need to install on the operating system. Each and every application is designed to solve a certain problem or certain use case, and we need to understand which application will be giving what kind of the use cases, what kind of the benefits, and we need to see how to install that, how to configure that, how to download that, how to run that, how to make use of that. That is what is the DevOps now. Maybe a general purpose, just to understand the MS Office, right? Maybe your player, VLC media players, maybe a Adobe readers, or these are the general, right? So each application has its own need, right? So let's say if it is VLC media player, right, you should know how to install, how to download, how to play this, how to change the settings. That's how you will be playing the movie file, right? Same thing will be applicable for any other application. Could be a Kubernetes, Docker, or whatever it is. So in our next 3 months of time, all the applications that you do have, start from Apache HTTP towards the Kubernetes, I will be explaining how to download, how to install, how to configure, right? How to run them. And which application is giving what kind of the benefits, how those benefits are helping in the real time to run the actual business. And that's what it is called as a real time. Make sense? Good. Now the question for you guys. Of course, our goal is to become a Kubernetes engineer. Our goal is to become the DevOps engineer. Our goal is to become the cloud engineer. That's true. But do you think we can go and start learning this application stack right away start from today? I mean to say, let's say we want to learn the Kubernetes, Docker, because those are the budging technologies in the real time, right? You cannot learn them on day one itself because these applications are installed on the OS. So first you should know the operating system skill. The operating system is actually on top of the infrastructure, so you should know the infrastructure. That's a dependency, guys. So that's the reason first I will be giving you some glimpse of the infrastructure, what it is infrastructure, how to make them, how to use them, and that's where we talk about AWS. Then I'll talk about Linux operating system. Once we know the Linux operating system basics, then I will come back to the application layer. I'll talk about all these applications one by one. That is what is the goal that we have and the sequence that we are following here to learn the things.